This video contains information that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are a viewer and are triggered or shocked by images and need a warning prior to every clip or story being discussed, then please unsubscribe from my channel immediately. My channel covers the harsh reality of even the worst crimes imaginable and is for adults only. For those of you who fit into this category, take this message as your warning and don't watch any further. What's going on, freaks? Freakazoids. How's it going, everybody? Yep, and by the way, the robot is for one of those people viewing the channel that were triggered by the fact that I would look around like this at stuff. So I figured I needed to stay as still as possible. You know, not to trigger that person. A lot of really triggered people in society, unfortunately. It's just amazing. Just trigger, trigger, trigger every second. And they have to let you know how triggered they are. This is a no trigger zone. If you're one of those people that starts bitching about how something is said or done, you're just immediately removed. That's why I have like over 1,000 people blocked from my channel. Because it's not worth my time. Alright? So don't be one of those people. If you don't like the show, just don't watch it and go somewhere else, and I'll continue on. Hey, by the way, look at that, 48,000. We reached the 48,000 sub mark. All right, so I'm thinking maybe in a couple months, MUNTS, we might actually hit the 50K number. That'd be pretty sweet. Yeah. Do you see this crap right here? Look at these guys. Every single time. Look at it. I do a show. This is what they do. Look at it. Can you see them? That's crazy. Look at that. And look at it. She bites him in the face and the ass, everything. Look at it. Look at, 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 look at. Oh, God. Oh, jeez. Well, anyways, that camera got whacked out right there. Yeah, it doesn't matter. As soon as I start the show, they start doing that shit. So a lot of people sent me links of missing people and unsolved cases out of Wichita, and I found I have a cold case that I barely mentioned one time because I found a folder on Google Earth, but I didn't have a folder in my project folder, so it's obviously something that I maybe just barely mentioned. There's like 2 people. It's in Kansas, not necessarily Wichita, but it was 1969, so might go over those a little bit later. But did all of you guys watch the video from earlier? Or at least figure out what we're talking about here? Yeah. Savannah Schneider. She is a visually impaired woman, a 23-year-old. She was a Delta Gamma sorority member at some point. I don't know if she's an older student or She probably graduated, and you know, it's not really a relevant part of the story. It doesn't seem, anyways. But she was apparently at her house. She's very gullible. She probably felt pretty lonely and would reach out to people online. And she was, hey, thanks, Jody William. And apparently both of her parents are dead and her stepdad. So she almost has nobody. And there's a lady on the street that she lives who's a motherly figure type to her. Yeah. So she lived in this house right here. Let me get that screen on. Hold on. Hey, I caught myself before I went 20 minutes. How did they pass? I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just don't worry about that kind of stuff. You know, it's like, how would that be relevant here? All right, so right here, this is where she lived, right here. Okay. I mean, here's the thing: is think those things in your own mind and don't type them in. Okay. If it's something really relevant, it's useful. Yeah, so she lived right here. Let me show you the street view again. And I think she lived there alone. And apparently on May 31st, she was out on the patio here. And at 5:09 in the morning, a white van pulled up into the driveway right here. And she got into the passenger side in the back seat. All right. So that does seem like it was somebody that was picking her up to drive her. Because wouldn't you normally get into the passenger side? She got onto the driver's side, so probably the back seat, right? So that was 5:09 in the morning. But what makes the story weird is that down the road here is the motherly figure that she has. That's how they refer to her. Her name isn't out. But she's doing an interview in this video right here. Watch. So listen.
I sent her a text message and I said,
okay, so right there, way in the background there, you can't see it very well, but that's a fire hydrant and that's a basketball hoop. Okay? So that's how I know that that is the house, because right there's the basketball hoop and the fire hydrant is right down there. And inside that house, right there in this nook right here, kitchen, what did I call that earlier? It just popped into my head, but like a kitchen nook or whatever the hell you call it, where you can look out the window. That's where they're sitting, see? And so let's just listen to this and you'll hear how she described it. What's odd about it is that in the afternoon, or whenever it was, it definitely wasn't 5:09 in the morning when she called Savannah up or texted Savannah and said, hey, would you like to come walking the dog with me? Okay, and then Savannah says, no, I'm getting a ride with somebody, or somebody's coming to pick me up. Well, she was already gone for hours before that. So was that text message sent by somebody else or her, and she was somebody else trying to throw her off?
hey, I'm going to walk the dog. Do you want to join me? And she has always said yes, always. And she said, no, I'm waiting on someone to come by. And I thought, okay, but we have security cameras. Nobody ever came by.
Schneider's neighbor texted her the next day. No answer.
My husband came home and said, something's not right. Let's go check it out.
The couple backed up their security camera to early Monday morning and found this.
At 5:09, a looked like a van.
See, you notice what they're saying. See, she originally texted her saying, you want to walk the dog with me? And then texted her the next day and didn't get a response. She did get a response from the question about, do you want to go walking my dog? See, listen.
He said yes, always. And she said, no, I'm waiting on someone to come by.
Okay, so that was a text response. No, I'm waiting on somebody to come by. Well, she had already left hours earlier.
And I thought, okay, you know. But we have security cameras. Nobody ever came by.
Schneider's neighbor texted her the next day. No answer.
My husband came home and said, something's not right. Let's go check it out.
The couple backed up their security camera to early Monday morning and found this.
At 5:09, a looked like a van pulled into her driveway. She was sitting on the porch waiting for the van. She got off the porch, got in on the driver's side, and then the van pulled away.
Wichita police say the next and last time her phone was pinged was in Hayesville Tuesday night, June 2nd, which doesn't add up for Schneider's childhood best friend.
Yeah, so the phone pinged. That's where she lives. The sorority, I guess, is way over here. And then the phone pinged in this area. And then yesterday a body was found, a female body was found on this railroad track a half mile from this intersection right here. And so it'd be right in this area right there. It's kind of interesting how in the 3D mode you can actually travel down it, even though it's, you know, it looks a lot better if you actually could see an image of it. But so the street view looks like this. Oops, let me get to there's no street view right there. It's right there on the, where it crosses. So down there. So it looks pretty much similar to what I was just showing you, but so way down there is where her body was found. Now how she got there is kind of interesting. How would she have gotten there? Did she walk on her own? And here's the thing, at the end of this interview that we're listening to, they reveal that she's only weighs 90 pounds now, and she's 5'9". Well, that's or 5'8". That's just way too skinny. That's there's something's going on with her emotionally. So did she go down there on her own after getting a ride by Uber at early in the morning, just to get? But then the thing that doesn't make that work was who was the one who responded on her phone when the motherly figure asked if she wanted to go walk the dogs. Now, I guess if it was like 7 in the morning when she asked that, then that's possible. But if it was around noon, I don't know. I mean, you got that ride at 5:09. I'm sure it doesn't take that long to get there. Yeah, but carried her a half mile, really? I mean, she's light, but 90 pounds is 90 pounds regardless. And I guess you could drive down there too, but you're putting yourself in danger because if a train comes, there's nowhere to go. Unless maybe you looked up the schedule or, you know. Right, well, yeah, I mean, she might not have been home too. And texted back, right? But why would, I mean, and that's the other option that I mentioned, is that she could have texted back and she's just trying to set up a ruse with the motherly figure. You know, she didn't want her looking for her too quickly, a little bit like the case that we just covered recently in Ohio. Madison Bell. Lied to the neighbor. Well, no, it's like, you mean the family, the motherly figure. Yeah. Maybe. That's what I was saying earlier. That, you know, there's a possibility that she killed herself. Right? I mean, I said that on the previous show. We don't know what the, you know, if that... Because here's the part that's weird is that I'd like to know what time the text was sent by the motherly figure neighbor, what time that was sent asking if she wanted to walk the dog. If it was like at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that's a little bit more ominous, right? Because, you know, this drive isn't that long. Let's go look at the miles here. Yeah, I mean, it's only 12 miles away, so let's just say 20-minute drive at the most. I don't know how we can get that information. You'd have to contact that neighbor, maybe, and ask. I mean, I think I could probably figure out how to get that information. So maybe I'll try to do that at a different time.
We don't really know who it could be in that area, but it could be someone that she is recently acquainted with, which is why we're so concerned.
Her friend has a gut feeling that she's not far away, and now the two closest to her conveying urgency in the search.
I believe she's in a very bad situation, but I believe that she is alive.
In the past 2 years, she's lost her mom, dad, and stepdad. Feeling alone in the world, she turned to strangers online.
I mean, she's visually impaired.
Vulnerable.
Very, very, very gullible with how naive she is with people's intentions. And so it just, I've always been afraid that something like that could happen.
One final plea to whoever is with her.
Bring her home. Just bring her home safe. We love her.
And I want to point out the picture that has been shared of her is not how she currently looks. Her hair is now darker and she's lost a significant amount of weight, probably closer to 90 pounds rather than the 110 that has been reported in her description. If you know anything about where she could be, please call police. Live downtown, Morgan Mobley, Cake News on your side.
Yeah. Well, why don't
I sent her a text message and I said,
why don't you look up how her parents died if it's something that you really want to know? I've said before, she lost both of her parents and her stepdad, and there's actually a post where she's saying, let's see, where is that? Wow, what the hell? Oh wait, that was a different. No, that's. Hold on, looking for this image. Yeah, right here where it says, I will always be my mama's world and my daddy's and stepdaddy's girl. And they're all those people she's referring to aren't alive, and that's April 6th. I mean, I don't know if that's a suicidal sounding thing, but you can tell it's really bothering her. And so basically her whole family's gone. She's visually impaired. She probably feels really alone. And she's just struggling out there. And she was losing a lot of weight, even though she was already skinny. Yeah. Well, go look it up, Megan. I don't really have any way to look up how her parents died. We don't know what their names are. I might be able to figure out what their names are, though. Hold on one second. All right, let's try to do it. It just always seems like one of those rabbit holes, you know, like. All right, here we go. Savannah. Thanks, Jody William. Yep, 23 years old. Okay. And then she's got family. Eugene. Now, here's the thing: is we don't know is her last name that she has now, is that her stepdad? Okay. Well, one of them looks like the person named Eugene, but he would have been 80 something. So that's not going to be. Died in 2008. So let's see. Teresa Schneider. She died January 2020, so that's pretty recently. And 1959 to 2020. Yeah, so she would be about 61, I guess. So I guess we could try that really quick. Yeah, I think this is her right here. Teresa Schneider, 60, payroll accountant for the manufacturing aircraft company Globe Engineering, passed away Wednesday, January 22nd, 2020. Funeral service will be at 10 a.m. February 5th. So these are all recent deaths too, you know, like she was preceded in death by her parents, Eugene, husband Lee Klatt. Oh, so preceded in death. Thank you, Teresi.
Love you, Gray, and all of the Freak family. Smile collision.
Let's see. She was preceded in death by her parents, Eugene, that was the one I just saw a minute ago, and Lila Schneider, husband Lee Klatt, and brother Charles Schneider. Survivors include daughter Savannah Schneider. Yeah, so I don't know if we get to know what happened to her, but now we know that her husband's name was Lee Klatt. I guess it's not going to mention her ex-husband, or I guess her ex-husband, right? So let's see, Lee Klatt. So Lee, wow, that's crazy. So Lee Klatt must have died after that. So now I'm going to type that name in. Okay, Lee Klatt was also 60 years old. Now let's type his name in here. I don't know if he just died recently or... No, he already died. That's right. That's why it's preceded in death by. Okay. Well, Charles, and survivors include daughter. Okay, so all these people are died. Lee Klatt is her stepdad that died. So, what did he die of? Anybody know? We're doing this for Megan. She wants to go down the rabbit hole. Yeah, I know who it is. It's obvious. Yeah. Does anybody know how she died? Okay. So it's probably just health things, you know, like they're not in the newspaper. Let me type the name Lee Klatt, Wichita, Kansas. So weird that he just died the year before, and then she dies, and they're not even really that old, and she's all alone. And then even her biological dad, so I wonder when that was. Obviously, the biological father's last name is Schneider. Is this the guy right here? Yeah. Yeah, and there's Savannah Schneider right there. Alright, well, it sounds like it doesn't seem like they're dying from some crazy... I mean, we don't know, but I don't see any articles about like a murder or suicide or anything like that. Let's see. Wow, look at all these pictures that came up of him. Yeah, they're all, it's just all obituary. Wow, that guy doesn't, look at that, that was weird. Doesn't that guy look like Robin Williams right here? Look at this guy. That's crazy. That's like what Robin Williams would have looked like had he lived longer. Come on, tell me everyone should see that right there. That's bizarre, man. As soon as I saw him, I was like, wow, is that Robin Williams? It's almost bizarre how much that guy looks like him. Everything. His eyes, nose, every single thing. Like that's what he would look like if Robin Williams lived to be about, you know, maybe 70. That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, it's the nose, eyes, everything. It's not just the nose, you know. It's, okay, well, I don't see anything. If you guys find some other stuff out there that explains how they died, let me go look at one more thing, though. Eugene. Was it Linda Klatt? Was that the... No. Yeah, there's two N's there. Okay. So maybe Charles Schneider? Is that right? Okay, yeah. So that's probably the father. If he's 64 years old. Could be an uncle or something as well, but it doesn't say that he's deceased, but maybe he is. And there's also... Yeah, I mean, I think that's got to be it. There's a Eugene Schneider. Although, yeah, that's the one that was 80-something, so that's the grandfather. And we actually saw that earlier, preceded in death by. But Charles Schneider's probably the bio dad. And then maybe he died a long time ago, and then Teresa got remarried. And, okay, that makes sense. So Teresa got married to, let's see. Hell, now I can't find it. Oh yeah, to Lee Klatt right there. And that became the stepdad, and he's probably a good stepdad. And then he died, and she's so young, but they're also a little bit older too, you know, like she was like 37 having the child, right? Yeah, that's what I was saying. When I first brought her up a couple days ago, I go, wow, maybe that's the sister of Nick. You know, I was just joking around. But. Yeah, there's a lot of things to wonder about, yeah. I'm sure they've checked a lot of stuff. Yeah, so, I mean, that's basically the news here is that... Oh, yeah, now here's the thing that was weird. The body that they found, you want to see something kind of strange? Shaylin, the body that was found off of this street road right here, 130th, in this river right here, right? So I guess it could even be there or here or there, but I'm just kind of going with right there. But look how weird this is. Watch this. So here's where that girl's body was found, the one that was just found on the 7th. And there's some railroad tracks, and then you follow those railroad tracks right up here, and boom. You know, the same railroad tracks that she's found on lead right to the spot where they're saying the other body was found, right here. So what do you think of that? It's a little bit interesting, right? And her name is Shaylin Gannon. Is it this one? Yeah, there was another article that it actually mentioned where they found her, that she was missing. Okay, there it is. See, there's this article here, body found in Ninneskah River, identified as missing Wichita woman. And then there's an article about where she was found before they identified her. And I do not see that right now. Maybe that's it right there. Hold on. I think I have to open it up in Firefox. Yeah, because it doesn't open up in Chrome. So there we go. Oh, now it's doing it in Chrome too? Oh shit. Hold on. I mean Firefox. I guess they give you that one shot at it and then it doesn't work. That sucks. So anyways, it does mention where the body was found. The Kansas Bureau of Investigation has identified the homicide victim whose body was found in the Ninneskah River over the weekend as missing 27-year-old Wichita woman. They talked about how she went missing, though, a while ago. And this was on June 12th, so they just finally identified her. But it is interesting, right, that just down that same exact railroad track they find her body. But I mean, her body could have been put in the river anywhere and it just went there, or the killer killed another person and drove them right here and just dumped her in there in the river, right? Huh? Who was found in a gun case? She was found in a gun case. It's hard to fit a body in a gun case. That would be... Oops. That's actually his video here. It was a pretty good video. It's Tiger Woods showing people how to play golf. Oh, here's a Reddit deal. Similarity timeline map between suspicious death of 2 missing disabled women. So she was disabled as well. Shaylin Gannon's badly decomposed body was beyond gender recognition by the time she was pulled from the river a week ago. Today, she was 27, disabled and vulnerable, and most importantly, there seems to be no available public reports of her alleged April 11th disappearance. That's not true. I found that one. That was in that article that I opened up, but now you have to pay for it. It was right there. It was April 13th, that one. Unfortunately, the general public is likely not aware of the striking similarities in victim profile due to badly... Yeah, let's see. Savannah's last. So they're making a comparison there. The same comparison. So there you go. Maybe we're onto something. Who knows? So basically, if you type in, here's what we can do. Let's try this. Dang it. Yeah, well, 1911 there was a body found in the river. So I guess it's not in there. Thanks, Sean Beecham. Yeah, when you're not talking about the big time cases, it's not as I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that, but how's it been going?
Gray and the freaks are best. Crown rolling on the floor laughing.
Yeah, so let me try this. You can do like a custom range, go back to April, and then just do like May 1st. Yeah, see, look at this right here. This is April 13th, 2020. Wichita police offer a $1,000 reward for information about missing women. And then it says Savannah, let's see. This is the one that won't open up, but I saw it earlier, I think. Well, hold on. Well, I don't know why her name pops up on this, but I found it earlier and I can't find it again. Man, I almost wish the internet didn't exist so that there was newspapers. I mean, the newspaper.com nailed everything back then. Now it's like, you know, maybe there's something on the internet, maybe not. Wow, that's April 10th. What day did she go missing again? April 11th. Huh. Look at that. First responders called after body found in South Wichita Park. I guess that's a different one. Yeah. But I definitely, this link, there was a link that I found earlier that actually mentioned them finding a body but no name, you know, they didn't know who it was. So I definitely found that. How do we know that this person's disabled though? Like what, you know, see, that's what I do. I don't like just reading, you know, like Reddit just goes, oh yeah, well, she's disabled. Well, how do we know? I mean, why didn't you put a link in there that showed us how you know that she's disabled, right? Like we don't have any way of knowing that. And even if they do, they didn't show us how that happened. Well, thanks, ZV Smith, 2008. Yeah, I mean, I think like that, you know. I don't know. I mean, I know that I have been contacted every once in a while by, you know, law enforcement people who are interested in what I'm doing. Not, you know, not every day or anything, but, you know, at least 4 or 5 different times. Let's see. So I wonder if she actually has a... Okay, there we go. That's her Facebook page. April 8th. That's 3 days before she went missing. Or her body was found. That's crazy, right? Again. Thank you, Cairo. She worked at McDonald's, went to Douglas High School, she's single, posted here.
You do good work, Mr. Hughes.
Well, thank you. And it looks like, I don't know whose baby this is, but it was a really young infant that died right there in that image. This is April 1st. That's actually, I think, the image they're using, right? This is the image I keep seeing. Yeah, right there, see? So that definitely is the right Facebook page, right? And she looks so different there than that one. These are all going back into February here. Hey, thanks, Freaky Lizard. You know, you had to have come up with that name because of my lizard eye, right? And she had a lot of pictures for sure. Yeah, I mean, she just kind of seems like a normal person, right? I don't know what this is right here. You know what this represented. Baby girl of Cassidy and Cheyenne. I don't know who those people are. But that's just 3 days before they found her, basically. I wonder, I'd like to have the circumstances of how she went missing. I don't know how somebody knows that she's disabled, though. Thanks, Linda Howe. As in Linda Molden Howe of the Art Bell Cattle Mutilations and UFO Sightings. Although that's spelled H-O-W-E. Okay, well, does anybody else have any more information on this individual right here? Shaylin Nicole. Here, let me put the name in the chat, and you guys can do what you want to do with it. All right, there it is. Yeah, I just want to know if she's actually disabled. You know, because a lot of times people just say shit to make that to be the connection, and we have no idea. Right. She works at McDonald's.
Thanks, Ray and Freaks. Heart love you guys. Good night.
Good night, Linda Howell. And she's 27 years old. What happened to Kermit? I don't know. Yeah. Can you find the actual missing article? Let me... hell, I can't open that up. What's up? All right, well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up the phone line so you guys can call in while I'm just mumbling around looking for stuff. All right. Maybe I'll start doing that more on the weekend shows, right, where people can call in. Oh, I see. Okay, just getting the phone number part here. Meeting ID. Oh, I think, yeah, that's right. That was on a different, I had this set up on, well, here, this one, I guess, is what we got. So there you go. That number up there should be working. So if you want to call in, go ahead. Feel free to do so. And let me know what you think about this one. Because in a minute, I'm going to go back to do some cold cases here. This doesn't seem as interesting to people. Yeah, but where did you read that, though, Mannequin? On Reddit? Okay? You know, like, if you're not reading it in an article, then it doesn't mean anything. And even then, it doesn't mean as much. Why do you keep typing in Amanda Custer over and over again? Okay, I'm going to get rid of this person. Oh, that was her sister's baby? Okay. Where was that mentioned? I didn't even see any comments under that post. Okay, this is Savannah Schneider. Yeah, I know that she's visually impaired. I know. I've told that about 50 times. I'm talking about the new person here. The Shaylin Gannon. How do we know she's disabled? Yeah, I know she was sooner. History. I have said that 57 times already. Okay, I want to know if Shaylin Gannon has some impairment as well. That would kind of be interesting at that point. We've already gone over that 100 times. Just kind of follow along a little bit. Gray, you're so mean. Did you hear that? They're just trying. Well, I know, but it just slows everything down. Sort of like on the last show when we had to stop everything when it was not even the same person. Okay? Just try to look at what you're doing first. Shaylin Gannon's the one we've been talking about for the last 20 minutes. It's another missing person that was found on June, just a couple days ago, June 7th or 8th. And they finally identified her. Well, she was found and then identified just recently on I think the 12th. Yeah, but you wouldn't be confused, though, if you were here at the beginning of the show. Okay? I just got to keep being able to do the show instead of always stopping for every single person who just showed up. Do you understand? I mean, we slowly got into this, too. This is another person here. This one right here. Look. Body found in Nineska River, identified as missing Wichita woman. This is the link that I had seen prior to the show that I did earlier. However, I didn't talk about it because it wasn't the same person. Then somebody sent me the link saying, oh, they found Savannah's body. And they sent me this link, and they found they identified the body, not Savannah. But no, it's not. This lady here was found in a river. Savannah was found on near railroad tracks. It's not. There's nothing similar about it. Now, the part that is interesting, though, is this Shaylin Gannon that was found right here is found right in this river. They said off of 130th in this river right here. Okay. Well, it's interesting because just following those same railroad tracks, this is where the body was found yesterday that very possibly could be Savannah's body. You see what I'm saying? So it's right there. It's interesting that it's right along the same railroad tracks and found here. Now I want to know if there's any truth to the disabled comment. I don't know how anybody would have been able to find that information unless there might have been other articles discussing her missing. If anybody can find, anything out there, the reports that she's missing, and then maybe in that it says she's in danger because she's got mental, maybe there's some kind of impairment she's got. Right. So that's the thing, is when you go to some of these websites like Reddit. Now that guy could be completely, the person who wrote that could be very accurate. However, they didn't provide any links that would ever let you know if they were accurate or not. Just, oh yes. No, I wonder if anybody knows that they both had impairments. Well, no, nobody knows because we don't have a link. Everybody would know if you had provided a link. When did I say that yesterday, Michaela? Yeah, at 5:09 in the morning, Tracy. That part's odd, right? That she has somebody picking her up at 5:09 in the morning. I mean, who the hell gets up at 5:09 other than nurses, firemen, and cops? We don't know that, though, ZV Smith. So you're just saying, I mean, your comment is just wild speculation. Wild speculation. Makes absolutely no sense. No, it wasn't a booty call. Okay. She got into a car at 5:09 and got into the driver's side, but didn't drive because she can't drive. So obviously she got into the back seat, which means that it was probably somebody just picking her up. They claimed it was a Lyft drive. And that actually kind of makes sense, seeing her get into the back seat. But who was this Lyft driver? Have they followed? I'm sure they're following up on that. Yeah, I get really... It's just wild speculation based on nothing drives me nuts, you know. Can't stand it, actually. Yeah. Yeah, but you live in another country, right, Lemon Soul? Yeah. It's almost like that guy, he was sort of trolling. Wow, yeah, you're doing some work. It's like, and then all of a sudden, dumbass comments. Jesus. Right. Yep. Okay. Well, I'm going to switch on to something else right now. I mean, there's a whole bunch of missing people, all right? Yeah, where the hell is that one? Oh, here we go. Hello, 228. What's going on?
Hey, Ray, it's Tracy.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going okay. I saw where I typed in there that maybe she had been chatting online with someone, and you just never know what someone's doing at any time. You just never know.
Well, the friends kind of seem to, they think, the friend of hers thinks that she would she was meeting people online, very gullible and naive and just, you know.
Well, I think that given her circumstances, so much loss, and I mean, I just kind of take it back to myself of what I've been through the past year, and that's nothing compared to what she's had to endure. So I think that as much loss and things that she may have been feeling, that she was maybe grasping for something, it ended up with, ended up in the wrong hands, and that's what's so scary.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think that it would be that crazy for someone to pick her up at 5-something in the morning if they had set it up maybe during hours of the night or day before, or something like that.
Yeah. It's just what's weird is that we know that the text message that replied back to the motherly figure is bogus. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was away from the house. She was gone. So, you know, there's no telling who she ended up with and what intentions they had, and that's the scary part for me to think about. For someone so vulnerable, because she seems so vulnerable, and just would, I don't know how I would be in that situation, having so much loss, and I don't know. I just feel like anything could happen, and that she fell prey to someone online.
No, that's not what you were saying, ZD Smith. You were saying a booty call, like an idiot. I mean, listen, if you're not going to come in here and talk like a normal person, just get the hell out of here, all right? Your comments up above, your 2 and 2 in a row were ridiculous, all right? All right?
Well,
like, you started off trying to say these things that were kind of normal and stuff, and then all of a sudden, ooh, you know, just wild, crazy-ass speculation. Now, the thing is she could have, you know, here's another thing, too. She only weighed 90 pounds at right now, and 5'8". So she obviously was having some emotional problems. Something was affecting her.
A lot of, yeah, I mean, having that much loss, mother, father, stepfather, the three, I would say, you know, my parents are the most important people. My husband are the most important people in my life. Losing all of them at once.
Yeah, well, at least 2 of them were like pretty recent. You know, the stepdad.
I don't know how I could go on and face the day, you know. So any kind of attention or, you know, who knows, any kind of attention, comfort in any way that she found could have ended up making, you know, putting her in a situation that ended up, you know,
all right,
not so good. I mean, I'm not trying to debate or anything like that. That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
So,
see, like, people keep sending me the same thing. It's the same thing that was on Reddit. The thing about there's no information that's different than the Reddit post. It's the exact same post that Reddit had on the.
I don't read Reddit. I get my stuff from you. I watch Gray Hair.
Yeah, well, the thing is,
that's about it.
Like on Reddit, they posted the exact same thing. It says Shaylin Gannon's badly decomposed body was beyond gender recognition. I read this exact same thing earlier. By the time she was pulled from the Minneska River a week ago today, she was 27, disabled and vulnerable, and most importantly, see, this is just somebody's writing this without any proof whatsoever. This is an article that says home, similar, you know, I don't know where they got this, but it's called like, you know, daniltalks.com. It sounds like some kind of a blog. Now, you give me actual proof, and I'll believe it. But there isn't any.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I totally get you. I totally respect because you pretty much call it like it is. I've sat back and watched, and you do call things. You call it like it is, and I don't know what kind of intuition you have, but it's pretty spot on. I just think this one's pretty sad, and it doesn't have there's not a lot to go by, and that's scary. But I just think about her being so sad and so feeling vulnerable, or not feeling vulnerable, but feeling so lost and sad, and putting her in a vulnerable position to be, you know, for something to happen to her.
Right.
So, I mean, that's about it.
All right. Well, hey, I'm gonna go back. I gotta go back to doing this, but I appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for the support. All right.
I support you all the time.
Okay.
I enjoy your shows. So thank you for your time.
Well, thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
All righty.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. So I'll read the article here, but it's the same thing that's on Reddit here, right? Thanks, Tracy. All right. So Shaylin Gannon's badly decomposed body was beyond gender recognition. Look at the link here. It's Danil Talks. What does that mean? This isn't a newspaper, it's not like ABC or, the local news article outlet, news outlet. Pulled from the Niniska River a week ago today, she was 27, disabled and vulnerable. Well, where's the evidence of that? Most importantly, there seems to be no available public records of her alleged April 11th disappearance. I did find that, but then you had to pay for it. Unfortunately, the general public is likely not aware of the striking similarities in victim profile due to there only being one article vaguely detailing Shaylin's tragedy. So how are you aware, though, if there's no information out there that she had mental or had a disability of some sort? We don't know what it was. So it says up here, police allege Shaylin was reported missing on this day. Savannah is last seen leaving West Wichita home in a Lyft. Okay? How do we know that? See, that's what was reported in a news release. Now, we do see her getting into the back seat, so it does support that there. But her text back said, someone's coming to pick me up. Sort of supports that, but not really. And she actually sent that hours after she literally left. Her phone did, anyways. So it could have been somebody else typing that in, or she typed it in to throw people off. I don't know, but here's what we do know. The text message that was sent after the motherly figure that lives on her, the neighbor motherly figure that lives on her same street, asked her if she wanted to walk the dog with her. We know that that text message is false. Okay? That's a fact that text message is false. And did she send that or a nefarious actor? That's the only question you got to ask yourself. Apparently it was on surveillance camera. And I can play that again if you guys want to. There we go.
Hey, I'm going to walk the dog. Do you want to join me? And she has always said.
There we go.
I sent her a text message and I said, hey, I'm going to walk the dog. Do you want to join me? And she has always said yes, always. And she said, no, I'm waiting on someone to come by. And I thought, okay, But we have security cameras. Nobody ever came by.
Schneider's neighbor texted her the next day. No answer.
My husband came home and said, something's not right. Let's go check it out.
The couple backed up their security camera to early Monday morning and found this.
At 5:09, looked like a van pulled into her driveway. She was sitting on the porch waiting for the van. She got off the porch, got in on the driver's side, and then the van pulled away.
Wichita police say the next and last time.
Yeah, so they rewound their own camera. And the reason they did that is because they checked after the time. See, when Savannah said, hey, I'm gonna get a ride with somebody, they went and checked that time. So it was kind of a miracle that they thought, well, let's look backwards. And it was way early in the morning when she actually left. Thanks, Jessica Schubach. So we know for sure that that the text message was false no matter how you look at it, okay? 262, you're on.
Hi, Gray. It's Tisha.
Hello, Tisha. How's it going?
Good evening. Good. So I don't know much about the Gannon person, but I've been reading about the Savannah girl for the last couple hours. And one thing I did find interesting was I actually went to the police page on Facebook.
Yeah, I went there
and
got
I was
that
kind of reading,
document.
through the comments. And someone had written, and now I don't know if this is a family member or not, but he had said that Lyft provided WPD with all the info they had on her ride that morning. Pickup location, drop-off location, transaction info, and of course, driver info. When contacted, the driver went in downtown immediately on his own accord and answered everything he was asked and willingly showed them his driver app info on his phone. App showed that she tipped him and that he went on to another Lyft rider right after leaving her
where
at
did he
her
drop her off?
location.
Well, where was that, though? Where did they get dropped off?
They didn't specify that.
Okay, well, see, that's kind of what I was thinking earlier, is that she may have actually, it looks like she did get in the back seat, so it looks like that supports being a Lyft drive, right? And then
I agree.
It could be that she dropped off and just wanted to end, this could be a suicide, all right? I mean, it really could be.
That's what I think, because if you look at what's transpired in her life in the last year, and then you take into account the weight loss. I mean, obviously 5'8" at 90 pounds, that's anorexic.
Yeah.
She's
stressed
at home
out.
by herself.
Parents are dead.
She calls, let's say, at 5 a.m. because she knows what she wants to do, but she doesn't want any family or friends to find her in the home. She leaves her dog. She doesn't take her normal bag that she would take, that her neighbor or mother figure had said that she takes everywhere. I honestly think she was dropped off out in that area. I think she was kind of debating, wandered. Maybe she, was starving herself. We don't know how long it had been since she was eating.
Right.
Maybe she took some pills with her.
But I want to know how long it was before
track.
I want to know how long it was when the neighbor asked her if she wanted to do the walk with the dog. Because that sort of gives you a timeline, because if it is a suicide, then that means that text message was when she's still alive, and I'd like to know, how many hours that was.
I agree. And you know what? I wanted to know, what are your thoughts on the neighbor, with them sitting in the dark? And here's the other thing.
Hey, Cairo, I know.
Well,
hold on. Cairo said, I'm surprised nobody's come up and talked about the neighbors, and here you go. Bam.
Oh, God,
I don't think the neighbors have anything to do with anything. I think they just didn't want, in case she was nefariously abducted, they didn't want their names out there. That's what it was.
Got it.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing, too, though. So when you did your map earlier today, which was great, by the way, if she was sitting on that porch, I don't think the neighbors would have been able to tell that. But I thought, well, maybe it was common or habit for her to sit on the porch when waiting for a ride. So maybe that's where they had said she was sitting on the porch and then this ride came and picked her up. Because I thought, how would they have been able to see her sitting there from their angle?
Well, they might have just been...
They'd be able to see the vehicle.
It could have just been that they saw her sitting on the street. I mean, on the steps, right? Because it's right here, or the timing of it, right there. Maybe she was just sitting right there, because there is this wall here that if she was actually sitting in one of these chairs here, you wouldn't be able to see it from this house. Although, I guess let's try to see it. Let's take a look. So let's see if we can get the same. This is a little bit off to the left, but if you look back, I don't even know. It's right over here. It's tough. I mean, the car pulls in. It must have been that she just immediately got out, so they figured she was sitting on the porch. And maybe somebody else saw her sitting on the porch, and they're just saying they saw the car on surveillance because they looked at their camera, not somebody else's. And somebody else said that, I saw her sitting on the porch. I don't know. I don't know where they're coming up with that, but
that makes sense, because they could have actually had the neighbor across the street, take a look at their footage too.
Yeah, let me just see. Yeah, because
I think she committed suicide, but that's just my thought.
Yeah, I mean, that was a thought that I was thinking earlier today. I was thinking, it's like 46. I don't know I don't even know how to give it a percentage. It definitely. Once I heard that her in that one article that her entire family has died recently, basically, or two of them at least. And we know that because one of them was January, the other person was 2019. And then I don't know when the biological father passed away, but all three of these people. And then she used to weigh 110 and 5'8", which is already really skinny. And now she weighs 90 and 5'8". I mean, that's really not healthy at all. I mean,
No, and I actually creeped her Facebook earlier today, and I went back to like 2017, and she was like very active with her sorority. Her and her mom did a lot of like volunteer work with like the kind of like a Habitat for Humanity type of thing. And if I had to guess, I would say she was probably 135 to 140 pounds a year ago. So I think she's lost.
Yeah, she looked totally different. You can see like the eyes sinking in over time. I went on her Facebook page too. That's where I got the pictures that I have. But it's just. I mean, I can listen. How depressing would it be for somebody? You can't see very well, so bad that you're not able to drive or anything like that. And then you have your mom, sort of that one safety net, and a stepdad or whatever. And then you don't have anything.
It's probably like, why bother going on? Yeah.
And they don't have anything. They're just totally
I couldn't imagine.
Depressing.
It's awful. It really is. And I just sit and think, God, did she like wander those train tracks for hours or a day, just debating on what to do. And that was the thing I was going to ask too. So the text that went to her neighbor, that was the following day, or was that the day before?
Say that again?
So when her neighbor had sent her the text about going on a walk, that was on. It
was the same day. Well,
Sunday?
it was just later in the same day, the 31st.
Okay.
So the 31st, she texts her at let's just throw out a number randomly, like noon, and says, "Hey, do you want to walk the dogs?" And then she said, "No, I got somebody picking me up." Then later, she texted again. I think the next day actually, and didn't get a response. So the husband of this lady, they went over and they thought something was wrong. And then they went back to check the surveillance around the time after the text saying, "Hey, do you want to go walk the dog with me?" Because that makes sense, right? Because you sent a text at noon saying, "Hey, do you want to come walk the dogs?" And she says, "Well, hold on." And then she says, "I'm not going to." I don't know. Let me just get through it. So she sends the text message at. The neighbor sends a text message at 12 and said, "Hey, do you want to walk the dog with me?" Then they go through all the stuff and they look for her, and then they go, "Oh, let's go check our surveillance camera." So they're going to look after 12 because it was later she's supposed to be picked up, right? But then then they said, "Well, let's go rewind it." And they went all the way back to 5 in the morning and 5:09, and that's when she left. So she wasn't even home when she sent that text message back to that lady. So that means that no matter what, the text message is false. It's if she sent it, it's false. If somebody else obviously sent it, then it's false. But no matter what, the context of that was a lie.
Yeah. So she was, and that, I guess that would validate it more for me that she was, if she truly was the one that, wrote her response in that text, which I think it was, she was lying, and she didn't want to probably be found or seen. And now the dog was already at home, but she's not there. So, yeah, that's probably why she lied then.
Yeah.
At least that's what I think. But I don't want to hog the phones because I know there's other people waiting. But
yeah, well, good point.
Sorry.
No, that was good. Hey, thanks for finding that. It's a valuable.
Yeah, no problem.
And what was that? Like, this? What was that part?
Let me give you the name.
Yeah, what was that part again? The whole.
Okay, so do you want me to read it?
Yeah, just read it really fast. So I can get it all in my brain.
Henry I'll give you the guy's name if that's okay. His name was Henry Martinson, Martinson. He said Lyft provided WPD, which I'm assuming is Wichita, with all the info they had on her ride that morning. Pickup location, drop-off location, transaction info, and of course, driver info. When contacted, the driver went in downtown immediately on his own accord and answered everything he was asked and willingly showed them his driver app info on his phone. App showed that she tipped him and that he went on to another Lyft rider right after leaving her at her drop-off location. He was cleared.
Yeah. Oh,
and
good.
somebody further down had asked where was she dropped off at, and somebody else said they're not giving out that information.
See, that's what just sucks.
Yeah.
If they're really wanting help that somebody's missing, then you give out the location she was dropped off, because then people go, oh yeah, I was on 19th and Hilliard and I saw her walking, you know. It's stupid that they're not giving. And there was
another comment that I thought was kind of interesting. It's from a girl. She said, curious to know more info on the Lyft driver. I got a knock on my door looking for a man around June 2nd, and there were cops walking my neighborhood. If her phone was pinged in Hayesville, I'm wondering where, because this is close to my house. And then another girl responded, the cops actually came to my house too and said someone gave them my address and said the missing girl was there. She definitely wasn't, but I'm wondering if she was seen on my street. The spot this person was found is very close to my house, but from what I've read, the Lyft driver was cooperative and everything checked out with him.
So he's saying that she was dropped off near where he lived?
They're both females, yeah. This
okay.
First person's name is Jenny, and then the second girl that responded is Stephanie. And then this Jenny responded and said
well, yeah, but I don't really care what their names are. But the person that when they were where they were, they're saying that she was dropped off near where she lived?
Yeah, it sounds like these two girls must live in the same area.
You mean she was in the car too, or what? Like?
No, it looks like the cops must have been going like door to door or in the neighborhood or wherever her phone pinged. Oh. Because this one girl's saying she got a knock on her door.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So she's just saying that they were looking around in that area. And where is that area? Did she say?
She didn't. And then the other girl said message me, so they must have probably done.
Right, so then it's worthless to even be talking about. If we can get an actual street, then it's worth something. But just saying, hey, I know something you don't. I'm really cool and neat, and I won't tell you.
Well, that's why I didn't read it to you initially, because I knew you would say that.
All right. Well, thank you.
All right. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to take up your time.
Oh, that person
Have a good night, Greg.
All right, see you. Oh, that person just hung up. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.
Oh, they did?
All right, well, it's okay. Bye-bye. Have a good one. Yeah, so call back. You were just about ready to go to your call, all right? Jesus. Right, 1 second later, we're going to that call, and bam, it's out of here. Yeah, that's crazy. It's a weird one. But what do you guys think right now? Like, how about this? Put a 1 if you think it's more likely that she killed herself than somebody abducting her. And put a 2 if you don't. If you think somebody abducted, put a 2. Put a 1 if you think she killed herself. Oh, somebody said I was so mean. So the ones that are saying 2, what evidence do you have? See, that's what's so strange, is that you're avoiding the more obvious information. The only thing that doesn't look right is that the text response. Is she somebody that would send a totally bogus text to throw people off? Oh, and somebody said I'm so mean, so I'm going to the so mean jail. Sorry. I'm going to take a nap in here, too. She will kill herself. Why don't... I don't know. Maybe she didn't want to be at home. I mean, that's... Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good point, though, right? I mean... yeah, why not do it at home? Can you delay text? I don't know. Jeez, that's way overthinking something. Oh, and I'm going to send... It's going to be an auto response, too, with this app. Because as soon as it... Hey, thanks, Mag. She's always like the one that gets me out of jail first almost every time. Thank you. And thank you, Cairo and Miss Skiss. I'll buy some one of those cheeseburgers we were talking about last night that are really flat, that they squish. And then Cairo sent me a key and some cake for my escape portal. Yes, my cell phone that I use in the closet. And thanks, Allison R. and Miss Skiss. Yeah, so what happened? There was a caller on hold, and then boom, they just hung up right as it was being completed. Not cool, man. Not cool. Well, we don't know if she killed herself by train. She could have just been walking there.
For your escape portal, tears of joy, growing heart.
Thanks, Lanky Tor. Yeah, I know people don't like it sometimes because I'll just go, God, that's crazy. You know? Or I just want to get the facts in, and people get upset with it because
Cake with
I just don't have time
inside to break out.
I do so many cases and everything. I don't have time for the, wow, that's so neat. Let's go look at stuff we have no way of proving.
Why oh why can't you stay out of there? Rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing.
I don't know why I can't stay out of there. There's just a lot of mean... I'm just so mean.
Gray, why are you so mean? It's weird.
Sometimes weirdness means great investigative skills.
God, Gray, you're so mean.
God, man, calm down, Mary Lou. He's just trying to get the facts.
Okay, is that what he's doing? Okay, I'm just not sure.
Hey, don't get so upset.
For a meat pie to celebrate your release. Yummy face.
Oh yeah, I want one of those 4 and 20 meat pies, the beef flavored ones. Thank you. Yeah, well, thanks, Katie. I appreciate that. It was kind of a slow night right before that. But it's always good to get bailed out of jail. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel that you guys care. I think I got, did I? You know what? You guys talk about honey buns so much that I almost ordered some.
Big rap sheet gray.
On Amazon. Oh, let me show you. Where is the Hayesville area where the phone ping? It's right where they found a body. It's in the right near here. It's only 10 miles away. So this is where her home is, right? In Wichita. And then down here is Hayesville. And so I just put a pin here where it pinged, and then a body was found on these railroad tracks that's female. And keep in mind, she's been missing since the 31st.
Where is the Hayesville area where her phone pinged?
So she would be pretty decomposed at this point. Just left out in the open like that. All right, hold on. 479, you're on the air.
Love?
Yeah, yep, you're on the air.
Hey, I talked to you last night. This is Sherry
Cool.
from Arkansas,
How's it
Rebel
going?
Road.
Cool. How's it going?
All right, how you doing?
Not too bad.
Well, I have a question. This young lady, now, well, first I'm going to say this. She's lost family members.
Yeah.
She's lost a lot of weight. Now, I know from experience, and I was sick. I lost a lot of weight. I went from 145 to 105 pounds in 2 weeks. I'd lost my grandfather, who was my wrestling buddy, taught me to drive and everything. She's going to be so weak, she's not going to walk anywhere. Okay? She's depressed. She's not eating. I mean, 5'8", I'm 5'1".
Right.
Okay? She's already skin and bones.
Yeah, if you're 5'1" and weigh 90, you still weigh too little. You know.
Yeah, well, they tell me 5'1", I should weigh 105 pounds. No way, dude, I want some up in my ass. If I gotta do something, I want something to back it up, okay?
Yeah.
The neighbors, they're gonna rewind their footage to 5 o'clock in the morning.
No, they just rewound it back in time to see, like, wow, okay, so there's nothing. That makes total sense to me. If you were sitting there and you looked at and saw nobody going to her house, picking her up, and then you just thought, well, shit, let's just rewind it, and then you see that at 5:09 she got picked up.
Okay,
What?
did they call the police, or, I mean,
Well,
are they
I don't
just,
know.
like, staying out of it? I mean,
I don't know.
if I cared that much about somebody, I mean, I'm gonna be all up in there. I'm gonna be finding out some stuff, you know?
Well, they did care. That's why they went over and tried to figure things out. I'm sure they called the police. You know, that's why it's a story. You know, they have nothing to do
Yeah,
with
but I
it.
mean, if
But
they-
like I don't
this girl-
want to do the let's blame the neighbors. You know, it
No,
just doesn't
I'm
make any
just saying,
sense.
though.
You know?
This girl, she's all by herself, okay? She's
Yeah.
got all these problems going on.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm not saying let's blame the neighbors. I mean, I get on to people in Walmart if they correct their kids wrong. You don't slap them in the head. You don't pull their hair. That's what their butt's for.
Yeah. Well, I just think the neighbor, she was very concerned. I mean, she thought it was weird that she said, oh, I can't go because she always walks the dog with her. She said, oh, I'm going to get a ride. Okay. And then it didn't really bother them. Then the next day, it sounded like she sent a text message and got no response. Then when the husband came home, he goes, hey, something doesn't seem right. So then they went and looked at their camera, and there was nobody picking her up, so they rewound it and saw that somebody came by at 5:09 that same morning and picked her up. Then I'm sure at that point they started, calling around and trying to get help.
But see, I mean, you can tell when you're that close to somebody, and I'm not saying that they did anything, but you can tell by their text messages if it's them or not. You can tell also, if they're texting different, if they're mentally unstable.
So you can have some
Hold
red
on a
apple
second.
apples, red apple until you get out of the so mean jail.
Thanks,
Healthy
Freaky Lizard.
snacks.
Are they putting you back in jail again?
No, she said, so
I'm
you
about to
can
send you
have...
some bail money.
She sent me apples instead of...
Oh, okay.
Like, I can't get the Kit Kat or the Snickers that I would have got. She sent me some damn
Uh-oh.
apples to be eating after I got
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, at least you got something to eat, hey? Can't complain about that. But, I mean, when you have somebody that's unstable, when they're okay, they text one way, but when they're unstable, they text a different way.
Yeah. Well, hold
I
on.
don't
We
know if the girl's on
we had this
medication.
idiot just show up named Penny Sue. That's not a real name, but it's just one of those trolls. But don't listen to what that person's saying. It wasn't like I
Right.
was timed out. I'll say you can't take it. What do you mean? I listen. I get shit all the time from people. She's nuts.
No, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to figure out, because it's mind-boggling to such a young lady that's so beautiful. Depression is a hard thing to diagnose, and it's a hard thing to understand if you've not been through it. Just like with anorexia, okay? I've been there. It messes with your mind. Mine was mine. I got after I was sick. If you're not a strong person and you do not have a support system, anorexia will destroy you.
Yeah.
Because I heard somebody say, anorexia. Okay, if you don't understand it, okay, anorexia. When you look in a mirror, other people see skin and bones. Okay, all you see is fat because in your mind it tells you you're fat.
Yeah, I never really understood that, but it's a real thing. I just don't understand what you're looking at. Like it's.
Well, see, in the mirror, you see a whole new picture.
Yeah, what's that?
Okay, you don't see yourself as skinny.
But how come? I mean, that's the part I don't get. Like, I
Because
guess it's hard to
it's
get, you know.
Okay, your mind. Okay, with depression, with any kind of psychological disorder, it messes with your mind. If somebody says, and even right now, I have to watch, even though this has been years ago. If somebody says to me something like, "You're fat," just in meanness, I have to watch because it affects my mind. What it does is it puts when you look in the mirror, everybody can see skin and bones, but your mind puts a picture. When you look fat, okay? It's kind of like they say if you look on TV, it makes yourself look 20, or if you're looking on TV, it makes yourself look 20 pounds heavier. Okay, in that mirror, when you look fat in that mirror.
It'd be cool if you could sort of.
Your mind
it'd be cool if you could
with
harness.
you.
It'd be cool if you could harness a little bit of that. Like, when you want to lose 15 pounds, you could put something, and so it's just a slight version of that where you look at yourself and go, "God, man, I gotta," and then be able to turn off the switch as soon as you lost 20. Right?
Yeah, you can't turn it off. But see, what it does is your mind, it plays tricks on you.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Okay, and it's a hard thing to deal with. You can't turn it off because people can be so mean, mentally.
How come it's never the other way
Mental
around,
abuse
though?
does not go away.
How come it's never the other way around? See, I think that's a societal issue that happened at one
to
point.
Look a certain way.
Yeah, so it's weird. It's like a created mental issue by the sort of the fat shaming issues we have in our society.
You're supposed to look a certain way, to be a cheerleader, or take the Barbie doll. They always had her looking a certain way for years and years. Now, they've started coming away from that because so many girls wanted to look like Barbie.
Yeah,
they were starving themselves to look like her.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody knows all those. I don't. The thing is I think it's like there's never anything where you look in the mirror and go, "Man, I need to eat about 60 more cheeseburgers."
No.
Yeah, it's
You're
never the other way
I need to lose
around.
weight.
Yeah, it's always that direction. So that means the psychological.
Got to the point.
Well, that sort of proves that the psychological problem was a societal created issue. That's what. That's how you know that, because it's not like, oh wow, you just happen to have this disorder where, because if it really was a natural disorder, then you would have the reverse too, where you looked in the mirror and thought you looked too skinny and you need to eat a lot, right?
Yeah, and you don't, and this is something you just don't turn off and say, okay, I need to gain a little bit of weight, like you said. This is something that stays with you. It's not just, okay, you beat it and you're all right for the rest of your life. This is something you battle for the rest of your life. So
is the bulimia thing, is that like a precursor to anorexia?
It is. Some of it is. It's the disorder with that is you eat. Okay, like anorexia, you eat, you make yourself throw up.
Yeah, but anorexias don't eat a lot. I mean, they don't even eat at all sometimes, right? They just.
Bulimia, you eat, but then you make yourself throw up.
Right, but anorexics don't even eat sometimes, right? Like
anorexia, you don't. You starve yourself, but bulimia is the starter to it. Okay?
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
Make yourself.
See, everyone in the chat, they're saying bulimia is different. Bulimia is I know it's different. I said, is it a precursor to it? I don't understand when people just don't hear what you say half the time. Like every time I talk, they assume that I'm saying all these other things that I didn't say. I just asked if it was a precursor. That's it. I didn't ask if it was, anything other than that. Okay? So some people are saying, no, it's not.
It's a
some
sign.
people are saying, you
have to research it. It just all depends. I know what anorexia is. Okay? Bulimia is you eat, you go throw up. You make yourself throw up. It's not a voluntary thing. I wasn't making myself throw up. I was actually sick. I had like a nervous breakdown or something.
So when you're a bulimic, at least you do get some nutrients for the little bit of time that you leave it in your stomach. Because sometimes it's not right away that you throw up. Right? Like it's not right that second.
That too. Right. So another thing too is a lot of people will take laxatives to make themselves to go because that will make you lose weight also. Okay?
Yeah.
Like I said, I know what anorexia is. You don't eat. Bulimia, you make yourself throw up. You take laxatives. I really haven't done a whole lot of research on that, but to make yourself go to lose weight. But anorexia is like, it's a lifelong battle. It's not one that once you get over it, okay, you're over it. It's always in the back of your mind. Always. You don't have that switch to turn it off, like you said. And when you look in the mirror, you always see fat.
Well, we don't know, Tracy, if she had a. We don't know factually if she had a eating disorder. All we know is that she weighed 110 at one point, and then she weighed more before. And at the time of her disappearance, she weighed about 90 pounds, 5'8", and so that's concerning in that. To think
110 is concerning at that high,
right?
Because
even 110, but she weighs 90, so that's just crazy. At that point, you're getting down to where you have bones and some skin around it and a little bit of muscle. It's like.
But see, she's weak. Okay, once you get past that weight, your body starts relying. It starts going to your muscles for what it needs.
Yeah, I mean you can lose weight when you're depressed, but I think you're already at a point where, of no
return.
Yeah, I mean she's lost at least 50 pounds. Yeah.
I just wanted to kind of bring that up because a lot of people don't understand what it is when you have depression. That anorexia affects the mind. It really is. Yeah. It's mind-boggling to think of because it affects the way you look at yourself. Everybody else will see skin and bones, and you see fat.
Yeah, well, I was just asking a question, but Sophia T in the chat is really disheartened because now she wants to have a professional come on the show and explain it, when we were just kind of having a conversation. So who the hell knows?
Research it. I mean, it's easy to do. All you have to do is research it. I know more about anorexia than I do bulimia. I know what different ones do, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in the medical profession for like 40 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all you have to do is research it, and it will tell you everything that you need to know. But like I said, I know about anorexia. I know that it does affect the mind because I've had it, and it's a lifelong battle.
Yeah.
Okay. And that is something that could be considered also.
Right.
But anyway, sir, thank you. I love your show. Like I said, I was a newbie last night, but I'm hooked forever now, and I love you.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot.
All right. Later. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Well, how about this? If there's an expert in the chat, like a literal expert, because we don't want to depress Sophia there. She's got to have the expert here. We can't just have a conversation with somebody who went through some of it. We got to have that expert on. Now, how about this one? What is this thing here? Simone seats NIDA Network Vice Chair. Disorder eating as a precursor to eating disorders. Let's see. It is important to have awareness of disordered eating behaviors, including dieting, because they can be precursors to eating disorders. Disordered eating may include, and is not limited to, a rigid food and exercise regime, feelings of guilt or shame when unable to maintain said regime, a preoccupation with food, body, and exercise that has an impact on quality of life, compulsive eating, compensatory measures to make up for food consumed, i.e. excessive exercise, food restriction, fasting, purging, and laxative or diuretic use, and weight loss supplement use. Checking in with intentions behind and behaviors around food and exercise may be helpful in determining if an unhealthy relationship. Eating disorders may include the behaviors mentioned, but they are complex psychiatric illnesses with biological components. When an individual is struggling with an eating disorder, they generally engage in multiple behaviors with more frequency and intensity. The level of obsession with food, exercise, and body thoughts and behaviors can distinguish disordered eating from an eating disorder. These thoughts are generally all-consuming and may include, but are not limited to, fixation on calories, good and bad foods, ingredient measurement, taste, body size and shape, type and frequency of exercise, blah, blah, So it goes on and on and on here. I don't know. How about just somebody say yes or no? All right. And by the way, everybody, yes, if you guys do donate to the channel, don't feel like, oh, God, we're just donating. I donate a shitload percentage-wise to charity at the end of each month. And if you're part of the channel, you'd know it. Okay? So when you have trolls show up saying that stuff, apparently they don't like to have people donate any money to charity. Okay? Because we give well over $1,000 each month. We've been doing that for this entire year so far. It's been over $1,000 each month. Or at least it's averaged that. So when you have clowns that show up bitching about it, I donate, 40% of my take home goes to charity. Okay, now you give me another YouTuber or anybody else on YouTube, unless they, are a trust fund kid, who does a percentage like that. All right? So they can all just go F themselves, is what I'm going to tell you right now. And I appreciate all you guys. You guys are amazing. The generous freak family. You guys are what make it happen. My goal is to donate on this channel to charity. I think now it's going to be like $12,000 is what my goal is. 10 I'd be happy with, but we're already at 5,700 and we haven't done June yet. You see what I'm saying? So we're right at, we're going to be at probably close to 7,000 at the end of June. So when you have these, and I just want to, what I feel? I just want to cuss at those people. It makes me so angry when they come in here. They don't have a clue what they're doing. They just see, oh, wow, somebody's donating. Oh, look at that. Look at Gray. He stayed on longer because he, hey, you know what? I want to have I want to be able to keep increasing what we donate. And yes, that means I might make a little bit more too, but it's not really, it's not a shitload, okay? Because I have to pay taxes as well. And I hope you guys realize that stuff. I have to pay 30% of what I take, what I get, they pay me. I pay 30%. So let's just pretend, for the hell of it, I'm going to say this again. If I got, let's say I got a miracle month and $10,000 from super chats and channel memberships. Well, I have to pay $3,000 of that in taxes. So then there'd be $7,000 left over. However, I would have donated $2,500 to charity, because that would be
Amazing
25% of the 10,000. So after I got the take home of 7,000, I would give 2,500 to charity, and then my portion would be 4,500, right? Which is like, again, like I said, 40. It's like 40 to 60%. But it's never been that high. I'm just doing it so the math is easy. 10. Okay, nobody's ever, 10,000 in super chats would be crazy. All right. Because, remember, YouTube gets a chunk. Thanks, Jay and Alice in R. So I'm being totally honest with you guys with how the number works out. Okay? And the thing is, I put a lot of time in on this channel. I do a show every single day. I have a full, an actual job too, right? So it's like, it's just a lot of work. And if I was just doing it where, I don't know, and we're not monetized either for the ads. I don't get hardly any ad revenue whatsoever on my live shows. I don't know why they'll monetize little videos but not live shows.
This donation to the channel is specifically to bother annoying trolls.
Wow. Thank you, guys. I wasn't trying to, I was just trying to give the story of what's going on. I get so, yes, I'll admit it, people. I get triggered when people try to challenge donations and stuff people make. Yep, I admit I get triggered by that. Thank you, Miss Skiss, Fiber Sleuth, and Mag. Man, that's amazing. That's going to be... now, everyone get... make sure you're paying attention, because when Mags comes on, it's going to make that big cat eye sound.
Fact the feckless trolls.
What'd you say? Oh, that... oh, God. See, I was looking at something else. Boom! The cat eye donation. Thank you, Miss Skiss, Fiber Sleuth, Mag, Deacon.
Cause I love brand.
F the trolls. Dottie-O, Caspian Horses Rock. Thank you, troll. Let's all thank the troll, okay?
Here's to the jealous trolls, and because Grey, you deserve it. Growing heart, growing heart, growing
I'm
heart,
down
throwing
10, down
kisses.
15, all of them,
Thank you,
down
thank you,
15, I'm down 15,
Oh, yeah,
20,
fact,
I'm down 15,
Hey, thank you, troll, thank you, troll,
30,
thank you,
30,
troll,
30,
thank you,
25,
troll, 25, 30, 35, 40,
30, sir,
45,
25 of them, you're out, I'm down 25, I'm down 30, 30, now 5, I'm 35.
Yeah.
Troll annoyance donation.
Yeah, I have a hard time thanking them too, but it's just ridiculous. Thank you, Sean Beecham. How's it going over there, Sean Beecham? Over there in the UK.
F you trolls, middle finger, medium, light skin tone.
You guys are the best. Wombat Dundee and Sean Beecham.
Grey, you are genuine and I love what you represent.
It's your birthday?
I will never stop donating. You dedicate yourself to us. Crown, crown, crown.
Well, thank you. That was a nice comment. Thanks, Susie
Because
B.
trolls.
Well, Susie B's birthday, so I'm gonna get Mary Lou to sing your birthday song here in a second.
Compensation for my whining episodes, yuck.
That's okay. Who cares? I'm just gonna be the so mean when I say, "Hey, you're whining."
Today is my birthday. Donation to celebrate it.
Well, we'll have Mary Lou sing your birthday song. And there's Tish, the RN. Ding. Well, the problem is when I've got a bunch of new people watching and you get a troll coming in with that comment, they don't realize what we're doing. So in a minute here, I'll show you the breakdown again.
Blue, you're the best true crime pup and we love you.
Yes, Blue is the best. Chloe, well, she shit on the floor again in Chris's room. I don't know when he does it. I've actually never seen Chloe poop. It's amazing. She sneaks it.
We know what you stand for, Gray, and that's all that matters.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Tish. That was nice. All right, here we go. Let's get Mary Lou out here. Oh, and there's Katie Boykin. Thanks, troll. Jeez. Well, just saw. I didn't. But it's weird because I was just trying to explain it. But you guys are, like I said,
you've got the best
freaks.
YouTube channel out there. You deserve to be paid for your time and work. F the trolls.
Thank you. You guys are amazing. Hey, is that? Are you an Apple user, Tracy315? Because if you are, there's a link in the description of the video for Apple users. There's a join button that doesn't seem to show up on Apple computer or Apple phones. Okay, but hold on a second. All right. Hey, Mary Lou, can you sing Happy Birthday for Susie B?
Yeah, that'd be great. Happy birthday, Susie B. Happy birthday, Susie B. Happy birthday, dear Susie B. Happy birthday to you.
Wow, you had a hard time hitting that high note.
Well, I did it, so screw you. Oh, God, John Boy, you're always so mean.
Man, you two, can you just get along for 5 minutes? I tell you, John Boy and Mary Lou, those two, they're crazy, huh? Who do you guys like more, Mary Lou or John Boy? Which one, huh? How about you, Susie B? Which one did you like? Do you like John Boy or Mary Lou? Oh. Yeah, I think people like Mary Lou because he's always jumping in on the rap. Yeah, well, John Boy just gets frustrated with Mary Lou all the time because Mary Lou's just, she's not very consistent, gets upset really easily. She's triggered quite easily. I don't even see Susan. Oh, there it is. Mary Lou. She's a shit disturber. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Yeah, she does the Go Lori part. Yep. You guys want to... There's this cold cases in Kansas here that I was looking at earlier. You guys want to look at those? 1969. I don't really have any more about this case here. Right now, I'm up in the air. I think it's more likely that she... Well, I don't know if it's more or what. I'm just saying there's a good chance she did something to herself. But there's also a good chance that whoever picked her up did... You know, not whoever picked her up, but wherever she got dropped off, something happened there. Wow, Karen K. Look at that.
When you trigger Gray, you trigger all of us. Because that's what family is about. We love being a part of the family. Oh my God, look at the cat eyes. Look at the cat eyes. Look at the cat eyes.
When you trigger Gray, you trigger all of us, cause that's what family is about. Throwing kisses, face with hand over mouth, face with hand over mouth, love. Being part of the family.
Thank you. The Freak family. And no, we're not a cult, everybody. You know those people, they type in, those guys are a cult. They all believe that. No, we get in arguments all the time here. Okay? And we're not talking about some weird, believing in something strange. I'll tell you what, if we're a cult of logic and reason, I'm all for it. Thank you. I'm in. Yeah, it's crazy. Some of the comments people make. Well, thank you guys very much. Okay, you guys ready to do this? We're going to do Betty Cantrell and Sally Hutton. They feel familiar to me, as if I brought them up for a moment one night, but I don't have a folder, so I'm not really sure. But we can do all the mapping out ourselves. Let me find the... There. Okay, right there. So we got the little folder in here, and we're going to start off. This is 1969. It's crazy. Kind of a weird scan they got going on here. See, Lola slings alike but not tied together. Autopsies have disclosed that 2 Iola women slain last week were beaten savagely about the head, and neither was raped, officials said Sunday. The body of Sally Hutton, 15, was found in a roadside ditch just north of the city Friday at about 4 hours, and about 4 hours later, the body of Miss Betty Lou Cantrell, a waitress, was found floating in Elm Creek at the south edge of town. Iola is in the southeastern is in southeastern Kansas. Hey, Miss Gus, thank you.
Hey Gray BBT suggested Mary Lou and John Boy mugs.
Well, I'll have to come up with the characters, 3D characters of John Boy and Mary Lou. And then we'll do that, okay? The John Boy that I picture is this really big guy. It's not like the character on the Waltons, okay? Nah, I've got like these characters I could probably find. Let me find out where Iola is. Hold on. Yeah, it's not that far away. Right there. Thank you, Zozo, for that 57 cents. Zozo, he's so funny. Hey, did I just type that in? So look, I have this pin here from that. I didn't just type that one in. Where's this located? Hold on. So this is what I was talking about. I actually have this pin from this case, but I don't think I went into it with any depth. Yeah, so there you go. She's right there. She was found floating in Elm Creek at the south edge of town. Okay, so is this Elm Creek right here? Let's see. Elm Creek, Iola, Kansas. Yes, that's Elm Creek. So, you know, maybe she was found. This is Betty Lou Cantrell, waitress, was found floating. So this is where Betty was found, in this creek right here. Actually, let me get rid of that and just take that pin and put that here. And it could be over here too, you know. But it said the south edge of town. So anywhere around in this area. Kansas Bureau of Investigation, the KBI, and other law enforcement officers said no major clues have been found in the case. We're still working on the assumption that the deaths were separate incidents, said Roy Emmons and the KBI. We can't develop anything to tie them together. I mean, it's kind of weird that in a small town like that, you get two people found dead on the same day that were bludgeoned to death. Both females, both were not sexually assaulted, apparently. Yeah, you really want that one, Sherlock Hemlock. For God's sake, do something. That's what it is. Do something. Yeah. Mrs. Cantrell disappeared early Tuesday from a cafe where she was working alone. Miss Hutton, the other 15-year-old, left home Thursday evening to attend a football game, and the time of her death has been estimated at midnight Thursday.
We need a, for God's sake, say something. Mug first rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing, rolling on the floor laughing.
Sherlock Hemlock. Dr. John W. I don't know how to say that. Shamas, a deputy coroner, took Mrs. Cantrell's body to Wichita for examination by a forensic pathologist. He said the study showed the woman suffered 2 severe blows to the back of her head, which apparently fractured the skull and came minutes before her death. A blow to her mouth, which knocked out a few teeth, came earlier. Jesus. Officers believe Mrs. Cantrell was slugged in the mouth at the cafe, where some drops of blood and bloodstain. Well, if she got slugged in the mouth with a fist, there's a very good chance there was blood from the killer there. So some drops of blood and blood-stained facial tissue were found. The autopsy of Miss Hutton was performed by Dr. George Ditar, coroner, who said her face was crushed so badly he could not tell how many times she had been struck. Jesus. Brutal. So that was 1969. And then we move forward to another article, 1982. This one's got a lot more in it, so it might take a minute to read it. Yeah, I'll just start right here. She said the following facts were taken from old newspaper clippings. Hey, that's what I'm doing. Betty Lou Cantrell, aged... Betty Lou. Wow, it's almost... I guess that was pretty common. That's why we always say, you know, Mary Lou. And Betty Lou Cantrell, age 28, was last seen September 30th, 1969, at the Dine Out Cafe where she was employed. Mrs. Cantrell went on duty at 2 a.m., and no other employees would come on duty until the next morning. Patrolling officers noticed that at 5 a.m., the cafe lights were out and Miss Cantrell's car was missing. Mrs. Cantrell was not seen again until Friday, October 3rd, when Jimmy Maloney found her body floating in Elm Creek, south of Iola. Her body had been in the water for several days, and identification was made by her husband from the jewelry she was wearing. And what a nightmare that was. Later, autopsy reports indicated that Mrs. Cantrell died from a fractured skull suffered from 2 severe blows to the head. The reports further revealed that a blow to the mouth had loosened teeth. Her right index finger was broken. Her left ring finger was bruised, and she had 1 injured knee. The motive of the crime was tentatively established as robbery. Around $25 was missing from the cash register at the cafe. Investigators speculated that she was taken from the restaurant, beaten in the head with a blunt instrument. See, the only reason you would do that is if you knew who this lady was, right? And it seems pretty personal to, like, punch somebody in the face and, you know, it's just, I mean, if she didn't recognize you, why would you need to kill her and actually abduct her from the cafe? Blood was found in several places in the cafe. A tissue with blood on it was found on the ground outside the cafe, and an earring, a dried pool of blood. Okay, let me go over that again. Investigators speculated that she was taken from the restaurant, beaten in the head with a blunt instrument, possibly a blood-stained rock found near the scene, and then she was placed in the creek. So she was killed at the creek. Wow. Blood was found in several places in the cafe. A tissue with blood on it was found on the ground outside the cafe, and an earring, a dried pool of blood, and a blood-stained rock were found on Kentucky Street west of where her body was found. All right, let's see where that is. Okay, that's North Construct. It must be down here. Yeah, there it is. Kentucky Street, and it was west of where her body was found. So her body was found, you know, more over here, I guess. Let's see, hold on. Now it looks like the creek goes right through like that. Yeah, so there's a bloody rock found on this street. I wonder if it was like right in this area. See, that's still Kentucky Street right there. Interesting. Need something to drink. I mean, not liquor, okay? Yeah, the reporters way back in the day were way better. At least, well, I don't know if they were way better. It was that they were given more information to report on. Now police hold almost all the details, you know, close, because they all believe in the, you know, which is true, is that the killer will know the details. Because now, you know, this whole part about the rock being found, well, the killer would have been the only one that knew it, and the person who found the rock. But now everybody knows that, so they could say, "Oh, I left the rock on the road," and it wouldn't be able to filter out who's lying and who isn't. Let's see. Mrs. Dale Brewington found Mrs. Cantrell's car partially covered by brush on Tuesday. So the killer must have taken abducted her in her own vehicle, drove her to this location, and then bashed her in the head. It seems like she was the target, not robbery. 4 days after Mrs. Cantrell's disappearance, the body of Sally Hutton, age 15, was found in a ditch 1 mile north of the Allen County Country Club corner. Let's see. Allen County Country Club corner. I'm not sure what that means. Allen County Country Club corner. Let's see. Now, okay, that's corner isn't part of the name. So maybe that's a road. That's a place, but now let's just see 1 mile north. So let's just say that's where it is and then go a mile. Okay, that's a mile right there. And they didn't go there on Street View. Let's see if it makes sense. Blood was found in several... Okay, Miss Dale Brewington found Miss Cantrell's car partially covered by brush. 4 days after Miss Cantrell's disappearance, the body of Sally Hutton, age 15, was found in a ditch 1 mile north of Allen County Country Club. And I'm not sure why it says corner, but according to various reports, Miss Hutton had suffered one fractured leg, an injury to the back, and had been beaten severely about the face and head. The head injuries were the probable cause of death, and the other injuries were guessed to have been caused by a car running over the victim. That's what I thought maybe she was hit first. Like the person chased her down with their car and then beat her. The body was found by the Harold Gay family on October 3rd at 12:30 p.m. The time lapse between death and discovery of her body was determined to be about 10 to 15 hours. Miss Hutton had been seen at, let's see, hold on. Had been seen at a junior high football game. She was thought to have left in a car of which a vague description was given. Due to the amount of blood loss by the victim and the amount found where her body was discovered, the ditch was not believed to be the place of the murder. The base of an automobile... Let's see, what's that saying? Yeah, so they didn't find a lot of blood where she was found. The base of an automobile jack was beneath her, and it was believed that the jack was the weapon used. Blood-stained tissues were again found near the murder scene. Although rape was considered as a possible motive, officials later found that neither woman had been sexually abused. We have been able to find nothing to tie the two crimes together. But see, that's the thing is serial killers... Let's just say this is a serial killer. you know, a lot of times there isn't anything to tie them together. You know, technically, like, I mean, you know, it's just more of the manner, like that cause, you know, you don't find any. Yeah, it's hard to explain what I'm trying to say, but you know, it's not like they're not going to find things about their lives that there's a connection or anything like that. Now, if, you know, the damage to the head was similar, same kind of weapon, but one was a rock. We don't know what was used on Hutton. We know she was hit by a car, they think. Well, that was just part of what happened to her. It could have been that she was ran over by another car after she was killed and dumped there. Emmons, KBI, Kansas Bureau of Investigation agent, directed the investigation of the cases. Incidentally, he also is the grandfather of Paula Roberts Jr. The man was arrested for the murder of Betty Lou Cantrell, but it's not solved. So, one man was arrested for the murder of Betty Lou Cantrell. Joseph Marion Jack Shoemaker, age 50, was confined in the county jail in Iola at approximately 3 p.m. on October 14, 1969. His arrest stemmed from some type of disturbance call. Police reports show that Shoemaker had at first denied murdering Mrs. Cantrell, then confessed that he had lied and that he did kill her. Shoemaker was asked how it happened. The report stated that after he had finished a bottle of vodka, he then went over to the restaurant where another person in there, but he left, and this was when he and she were sitting at the two-chair table along the north side of the cafe, and he hit her in the mouth and knocked her backwards and out. He hit her with his left hand and had the sugar shaker in the other, but didn't use it. He then drug her out to her car and put her in the car by putting his hands under her arms. He showed an injury to his knuckle, which he said was done at this time. He then went back inside, got her purse and radio, butcher knife, turned the lights off, got some money out of the cash register and left. He drove south on South Kentucky, parked the car, got out. So he did. So that was that road. He drove south on South Kentucky, parked the car, got her out, took his sock off, put a rock in it and hit her with it, took her over to the creek and put her in the creek. He got in the water, pushed her under, and put some rocks on her. He then drove to the Neosha River, west side, stopped, got out, threw the purse out and butcher knife in the river. He stomped on the radio and glasses and threw them in the river. He then drove the car back down in the vicinity of 3rd Street somewhere and parked it and walked home. Shoemaker was examined on the polygraph lie detector. When asked if he had killed Betty Lou Cantrell, Shoemaker replied no. When asked if he had told the truth when he confessed to the murder of Cantrell, he also replied no. The preliminary hearing was held February 12, 1970. The trial in the district court began July 22, 1971, and was completed July 27, 1971, so a 5-day trial. The delay of nearly 1.5 years in bringing Shoemaker to trial was due to the concern over whether he was competent to stand trial. Lawrence L. Larson, father of Gary Larson Sr., was the foreman of the jury. Glenn, I don't know if that's Depke, father of Matt Depke Sr., was also a member. 4 possible verdicts of the trial were guilty of murder in the first degree, guilty of murder in the guilty of murder in the first degree and fix the punishment at life imprisonment, guilty of murder in the first degree and fix the punishment of death, or not guilty. Kansas law provided for the death penalty in certain types of criminal cases in 1970. The only matter that tied Shoemaker to the crime was his confession. Apparently, the jury did not believe his confession was truthful. This may have been due to various factors such as intoxication at the time of his confession, the doubt as to his mental competency, and his answers on the polygraph test. The final verdict was worded as follows: "We, the jury, impaneled and sworn in the above entitled cause, do upon our oath find the defendant not guilty." Signed, Lawrence L. Larson, foreman. Joseph Shoemaker later died in St. Louis, Missouri. No other suspects were ever arrested. Well, God, he sounded like a pretty good suspect, don't you think? That sounds crazy. I mean, did he have all the facts absolutely correct? Yeah, that's wild. So then here's a that was 1982. This is 1998, this article. Sally Hutton, Betty Cantrell. Those two names don't crop up very often anymore in conversations. I thought it would be like pop-up, but among local law enforcement officers. Wasn't always that way. On October 3rd, 1969, the bodies of two, Hutton was a 14-year-old junior high student, and Cantrell was a housewife and waitress, were found within a few hours of each other. The discoveries led to extensive investigations by local officers and agents of the Kansas Bureau of Investigation. The Hutton girl was found lying in a ditch along a dirt road about a mile north of Country Club Corner. She had been beaten and then left along the infrequently traveled road. One of her legs was broken, probably when she was hit by a vehicle. Investigators were convinced that her murder occurred elsewhere, maybe after a quarrel turned particularly ugly and panic struck. Cantrell's body was found floating in Elm Creek near the then already closed Kentucky Street Bridge. A large rock had been placed on the body to keep it submerged. See, but that's exactly what... see, this might have all been in the paper, though. You see what I'm saying? So that confession could be fake, and that he read it all in the paper and then he just repeated it all back out. That's why they don't want to give that information anymore. Cantrell's body was found floating in Elm Creek near the then already closed Kentucky Street Bridge. A large rock had been placed on the body to keep it submerged, but chemical reactions in the less than frigid water finally caused the body to rise to the surface. And yeah, bodies get gases, so you're going to need a lot of weight to keep the body down. And a lot of times the body will just, it softens up, and the gases make it float, and it'll actually split. Cantrell had disappeared from the Dine Out Cafe where she worked as a waitress, sometimes in the wee hours of September 30th. Blood and other evidence indicated a struggle at the cafe before Cantrell was carried away. Hutton had attended a junior high football game at Riverside Park the night before her body was found. The murders had similarities and happened within a couple of days of each other, but investigators never found any solid evidence to link the two. Remarkably, they also never found enough evidence to solve either crime. An arrest was made in the Cantrell case, and the suspect, in a drunken stupor, confessed. He later was acquitted. Over the years, the Hutton girls' sisters... Well, it's kind of interesting, right, that the guy was drunk? What if he... I don't know. I mean, if that girl was walking and he hit her with the car and then he killed her. Too. So then you could combine, put both those cases together at that point. But he was found not guilty, so... Well, anyways. So anyway, these two cases are unsolved. It seems like they'd have a hell of a lot more information on Hutton. They even have witnesses seeing her being picked up. So I don't know why they haven't made any headway in that investigation. So anyways, I think that's about it, everybody. I don't really have any more to add. Do you guys think it'd be interesting to do a show where, you know, back to the Daybell one on like Alex or something like that? People can say what they think. I don't know. It just seems like I almost feel like I want to wait in that one until we get some new news, but it might be interesting. It's just, I think I'll wait a few days. We got to get back to getting some of these other cases talked about. You know, we did a bunch tonight, so. And thank you for everybody who sent me all the possible related cases. I got to look, and I'm talking about the Savannah case. I got to look over those to see which ones seem like they could be, but I also want to see what, you know, probably tomorrow they're going to say that they've identified her and no foul play is suspected. If foul play is suspected, then that changes everything. Then all of a sudden at that point, you got something really, an unusual thing going on here. But if it, now that we know that well, we don't know for sure, but it was a comment made on Facebook that the Lyft driver came forward and does have information that he dropped off Savannah. Then it sort of takes him out of the picture, and then it's kind of like, well, where did you get dropped off at so early? I think it makes it more likely that she did something to herself once, I mean, if that information is true, let's put it that way. Hey, thanks, Jennifer Rochelle. Okay, and so for those of you who are still here, and you'd like to sort of see what we've done this year in terms of the donations, and you haven't seen it, wow, that's so high, I gotta fix that. There you go. I'm a little really bright on my face. Yeah, so we've done Texas EquiSearch, $1,100. The Kyron Horman Foundation for Allison Watterson, $1,400. The DNA Doe Project, $1,500. The National Center for Missing Exploited Children, just $300. The FirstResponders.org during the pandemic, $1,000. And then the Innocence Project, $400. So I'm definitely I'm gonna give more to. Next month, I think it's going to be mainly Kyron Horman and Texas EquiSearch. Maybe a couple hundred to DNA Doe again, but we got to get Allison Watterson's case to, a little bit more money in there to keep that going. Yeah. Yep, you can see me being so mean, Stephanie. So mean. All right, and thank you all to all the generous freaks. We had Jody William again. Tracy75, Sean Beecham, Cairo, Freaky Lizard, Linda Howell, Jessica Schubach, Dadio Caspian Horses Rock. A couple times in a row there. Then Mag, for bailing me out of jail. Cairo, Miss Skiss, Allison R., Lanky Tour, Miley Harmon, Tammy Sutherland, Zozo, Maybe Sunshine, Freaky Lizard, Zozo, Sherlock Hemlock, Allison R., Jay, the shortest name in YouTube history, as opposed to Crystal, A.K.A. Beaver Gaming Sub Crystal. That's the longest name. So we've got the shortest and the longest. Miss Skiss, Fiber Sleuth, Mag with the cat eye donation, Deacon, Dadio Caspian Horses Rock, Wombat Dundee, Sean Beecham, Susie B, Sophia T, Tish RN, Cairo, Katie Boykin, Karen K with the cat eye donation, Miss Skiss, Zozo, Sherlock Hemlock, and Zozo again. And let's see. Yeah, and then I got a PayPal earlier from Emily. So thank you. Da, 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 da. Okay. Awesome. All right, so here we go. We're going to do a flyby. Hey, thanks, Lillian T. Here we go. Hey, look at that. That lady's dancing on that plateau. It's weird. How is she doing that?
Hi, Gray.
Thanks, Lillian T. Hello to you, too. I might just do one lap here. My eyes are hurting. They're dry. Thank you, Freaky Lizard. thank you all for showing up tonight. Hope you find that Savannah case interesting and some of the cold cases there. Crazy times out there. And thank you everybody for that's sending me links and getting information for me. I know sometimes I'm like, oh God, you know, because it's not quite what, you know. I appreciate the effort too, right? You know, it's very cool that you guys look for stuff and send it to me. Oh, cool. I'm glad you like it, Ovrig. Who gives a shit what you think is what I'm trying to say, Off-Grid. You're an idiot, all right? Okay, all right, everybody. Thank you very much for showing up tonight. And oh, wait, make sure that you're, you know, keep washing your hands. Yeah, make sure you keep washing your hands and that you, you know, maintain your social distancing. Wear a mask if you go into a store. Keep doing that, all that stuff. You know, you got to make sure that you're safe. All right, everybody. So thank you very much for showing up tonight, and thank you all for, you know, the generous freak donation night. I don't know how that all just kind of started like that, but you guys, you know, that was pretty amazing. So I really appreciate that, and that's it. And my wife said thank you for some of that money that you sent for her birthday. She thought that was cool. So, all right, everybody, thank you very much. And as I always say, everybody, until next time. Be safe out there. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Greg is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temple fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later.
Hey, all right. Hey, good night, John Boy.
Good night, Mary Lou.
Wow, did they just really do that, everybody? Did you hear that? They didn't bicker back and forth, just in a simple good night comment. That's unbelievable. There's no way in hell that's going to last. I'll tell you that right now. But anyways, make sure you guys are safe out there. And as I always say again, be safe out there, as I just said 3 times in a row. All right, everybody. Good night.